Hey, Mike with Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Heat by Fire Cornhole. If you like a fast, floppy bag, this Heat's a bag you're looking for. Let's go ahead and dive in, break these bags down. I'll tell you all I know about them. We'll start with materials. Slow side. This is the same material you find on the fast side of the Pro Advantage or the Viking. It's the same material you find on the slow side of the Viper, but without the dots. It's a 7-speed material. It's fast, but controllable, very hole friendly. It's a wonderful material if you're just looking to run bags in the hole. The only downside, the only knock, if you let's say, is humidity. When boards start getting damp and sticky from humidity, that moisture kind of slows this bag down. Still moves, but it goes from a 7 down like a 4 or 5, depending on how much moisture is on the board. Normal dry conditions, 7-speed on the slow side. Fast side, this is that Pro Sniper, Deadhead, Viper fast side. 9-speed, it's crazy fast, great for collecting, pushing, running up the board in any conditions. We're looking at a 7-9-speed bag. This one is what I call a faster bag. Template on this is a large template bag. It's really that bigger template. It's a very thin bag. You have a ton of flop. This is a very floppy bag. In fact, you can just fold this bag right over in half, just taco it right up. So loose, thin, floppy bag, which honestly, if I'm playing fast bags, I kind of like a little bit looser, thinner bag just because of the forgiveness it gives you. It's a very forgiving bag on the landing. It has little to no kick whatsoever. So if you don't throw a flat bag, this is not going to punish you. The fill in here is all flat fill. I think it's a mixture, maybe a blend of flat fills. I don't feel any beads in here also. It's an all flat fill in here, which gives the bag even more forgiveness. So no kick, no real bounce. It lands, flattens out, runs straight to up the board. Because it's so floppy, it's very forgiving around the hole as well. So you have a ton of forgiveness with this bag all around, which makes it a wonderful bag. If accuracy, consistency is not really a strong suit, this is a great bag to throw. Because I talk about landing zones and that rectangular box you got to land your bags in to get in the hole. A large, loose, floppy bag like this, that zone becomes huge. You can miss your mark left or right by quite a bit. As long as you can get a corner of that bag to grab and it goes by, it's going to grab, spin around, and come right back in. And because these two materials are so hole friendly, they're just going to drip right back in. And for some reason they don't, the next bag just hitting the board usually just walks them right back in there. These things just love to find the hole. These bags are also ACL Pro Stamp for 2024, playing ACL events. You can throw the Heat. One more thing I'll say on this template as well is they've changed this template from previous designs. I had an older set of Heat. I think the ones I had were 23 stamps, so last year's model, and they were not this large. They were not this loose, this thin, this floppy. They were more of a medium template bag, kind of a medium to full fill in there, so it didn't have anywhere near the flop. So if you've had a set of Heat, a previous stamped version of the Heat, and maybe you didn't like how full they were, or maybe you want them to be a little larger, a little floppier, then definitely check out these 24 stamped ones. Let's go ahead and talk about playability. And it's a very straightforward bag in the sense that you're just running bags in the hole. This is not a bag you're getting crazy with, not a bag you're really getting creative with. This is a bag you're just wanting to put your 4 bags in the hole, outscore your opponent, outlast your opponent. It's a high PPR game. It's a low DPR style game. So you're not playing a lot of defensive rounds with this. I mean, you can control this slow side down. You can throw blockers up there. I will say with the blockers, maybe not the most collectible bag, and not because it doesn't want to go in the hole, but because these bags do accordion up and they hit the accordion up. So if you're going to collect a bag, you just got to clip more of the bag. If you try to clip a corner, they're going to accordion up and they want to just spin around. They just want to collapse up and spin around. So not the best bag at just clipping a corner to collect. But if you do leave a bag short, as long as you leave it to middle of the board where you can just come down and clip it and get, a third or so of that bag, you can definitely collect them in. And I didn't really have a problem collecting. I don't really remember having too much issues collecting unless bags were further out of play. It's a tough bag to go get because this is not a bag that you're shaping shots with. So it's not a bag you're trying to throw cuts with. So if you've got a bag that's out of play, you threw it too far over or whatever, and you left it on your opponent's side, you're not going to get that. You're just going to leave it, let it go, put your bag, to try to come grab it because the bags are so forgiving landing. If you try to throw after it, you end up with 2 bags over there. Now, if the bag's on your side, you can step out and come through and probably clip it, maybe take it that way. If you want to roll or flop, not the best bag for that. I mean, if you can roll bags, you can roll any bag. This is definitely an advanced level roll bag player's bag. If you're rolling this, you got to know what you're doing. You got to really be able to get that back load just on there perfectly because it's just so loose and forgiving. It doesn't want to pop up on its own. You really got to make it slam to get it to pop up. So not the best roll bag, but again, this is not a bag. If you're throwing this bag, you're not trying to get fancy. You're not trying to roll and flop and cut. This is a bag you're sliding in. If your opponent throws a blocker, you're either going to kind of sneak around it or you're pushing through it or you're airmailing over it, right? I mean, that's your options. You're not doing a lot of fancy things, and it does a great job of that. Like, this is a wonderful bag for doing that kind of, just keeping the board clean, sliding bags in, pushing through those blockers. It does wonderful in that. I did find I had some success if my opponent would throw a blocker up there as far as stepping out and playing that get around game, because as I mentioned, the collectability, the bags want to clip to coordinate up and just spin around, which makes it great if your opponent throws a blocker. Just aim for that corner and just barely clip the corner, and your bag will catch and it spins and pulls it back in so it doesn't kick off. If they leave their blocker in the middle of the board, step out, aim for the edge of the corner of the hole. Like I said, you get that corner to drip it to drop in, it's going to spin and pull it back in. So it's definitely a great bag for playing that get around game. So you have some options to go around their bag, but it's really a get around, it's a push through, or it's airmail. Again, you're not getting cute, you're not getting fancy. The other thing else on this bag is because it is loose and floppy and large and very thin, when you grab it, I can't lock this bag down. Just no matter, I butterfly grip and the bag's still floppy. If you have a standard grip or somewhere form, the bag is going to flop, which means it'll come out a little inconsistently. And if you watch the videos, you'll see those bags kind of flutter for me, or maybe they come down a little bit more of a nose down or whatever. They're not coming out perfectly flat. But because the bag is so forgiving, it doesn't matter, right? Even if my bag isn't perfectly flat or I don't have the same flight every time, the bag, once the bag hits the board, it flattens out and it's up the board. So, I'm okay with having a little less control if I get that much forgiveness in this bag. And that's the trade-off you get, right? You're losing control, but you're gaining forgiveness. As you gain control, you start to lose that forgiveness. So you got to balance those out. And this is definitely more of the more forgiving bag, a little less control. But again, it does a great job and it does what it's designed to do. And that's just put bags in the hole. So it's also a wonderful bag if you play like Ghost Cornhole, deck around Holio, where you're just playing by yourself and you're trying to get a high PPR. A bag like this is great at that because it just if you get it near the hole, it's going in. So I didn't really have any problems with bags hanging up there. I didn't have problems with bags bunching because they're so floppy. If I did have to go collect a bag on the side, I mean, they would just collapse up and just melt in. Like they don't bunch, they don't clog. They're too loose and floppy for that. And something I'll say as well is, even if you don't throw fast bags, a bag like this is a great bag to have as a training tool. If you're more of a slower bag thrower, you throw carpet bags or those mid-speed bags, it's not bad to have a fast bag at your arsenal and go throw it from time to time in practice. It really helps train your speed control. If you can learn to throw and adapt your throw to a bag like this, that helps you when you get on boards that maybe boards are faster, or maybe you got to throw a back block and you want to land the bag softer on the board, or maybe you just got to put a bag on the board without taking bags in. This is a great training tool to have, and something that I've learned through doing these videos is the bigger of a variety of bags you can throw and the more you can learn to adapt to those throws, it just makes your game that much better, because when you get in situations where you have to do something different, I've thrown this before, I know how to do this. Or maybe you get to a blind draw and you got a partner that all they can throw is a bag like this and you've never thrown one, it makes it tough. But if you have a set you practice with and you can adapt to them, it makes you a better blind draw partner that you can throw any bag that's out there. So definitely check out the Heat. It's a great bag to add to your arsenal. Limited availability, and Fire Cornhole has a website, firecornhole.com. Simple enough. Links down in the description for you to click on there. The bags were $74.99, $75 plus $10 for shipping and taxes and everything all in. It was like just right about $90 shipped to me, which is kind of that mid-range of bag prices, and really not a bad price for an ACL Pro Stand bag. So if you're playing ACL events and you're looking for that faster style bag, you love speed, you love floppy, you love loose, definitely give the Heat a try. If you're throwing the Heat, I'd love to hear your feedback, what you like, what you don't like. Drop a comment down below, let me know. I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.